Check. What's up, y'all? Welcome to New York Liberty Fan TV. It is your boy Rem, aka Mr. Ken NY Sports. What's going on, y'all? Last night was a tough one. The Liberty did take a loss 101-53 in a preseason game against the Chicago Sky. It was an absolute debacle, absolutely embarrassing to say the least. But it's preseason, so thankfully this does not count on the record books. But before I tap in, please do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications. This is New York Liberty Fan TV. We are presented by Bucket for Bucket Podcast Network. You can check us out at www.nylftv.com. But again, preseason game, the New York Liberty versus the Chicago Sky. New York obviously traveling to Chicago. And this is on the news of the WNBA, getting approval for charter flights there. It looks like there's a 2-year deal working in place, 2-year, $50 million deal for all teams to travel charter. So congratulations to the WNBA. Congratulations to making the right steps to move forward. And I feel like right now we're at the cusp of seeing a lot of changes in the W where we're going to see a lot of things changing in terms of, what we see with the charter flights, what we see with their ratings, what we see with the addition of new teams. Hopefully we'll start seeing more roster spots. We'll start seeing better contracts and stuff like that. So we do know that a new collective bargaining agreement is coming up. We know that they are working on a new TV deal. And there's a lot going on, and obviously our New York Liberty are at the forefront of a lot of that. Just to mention, this team being the first team to ever have a broadcast deal with a local network, and Liberty games will be televised in more than 7 million homes in the tri-state area. Then, the nationally televised games, about 30 games or so. I don't know if that was exact, but somewhere around there. We got a lot of games that will be nationally televised. And we deserve every moment of it. So the New York Liberty are at the forefront of that. And then when you speak about the charter flights now, going into charter, you just think about, first of all, I want to shout out Breanna Stewart, because Breanna Stewart has been very vocal about the charter flights for some time. Not saying that all WNBA players haven't, but during her preseason, Breanna Stewart, her preseason heading to the Liberty, that was one of the main points that she wanted to exercise and bring about was the charter flights. And then also, you got to think about it, just that quote from Jamel Hill, just talking about, Caitlin Clark has something to do with it, Brittany Griner has something to do with it, but also the New York Liberty have something to do with it when you think about their travel and what it took them to get from Connecticut to Vegas last year. And there's just a lot of travel stories that you hear from the WNBA and some of the things that they've had to experience and go through. So I'm happy for them that they finally worked this out with the charter flights, and there's some progress there. So shout out to the Kathy and the WNBA for getting this right. This is great for the game and great for everybody. Everybody who is getting things done. This is huge. This is huge. But again, we want to speak about the debacle last night. It was a bad one. It was really bad, to say the least. Tough. I'll say that it was tough. It was tough to watch. This was our first look at New York Liberty legend Coach T. Spoon, and she did an amazing job. When you think about T. Spoon, a T. Spoon-led team, what you got to think about is defense first, because that was T. Spoon. That's what she embodied. When I first started watching the WNBA and watching basketball, it was Teresa Weatherspoon who made me realize, because I was young, she made me realize the impact of playing defense, that you don't have to put the ball in the basket to necessarily impact the game. And till this day, I understand the importance of defense, rebounding, picking up 94 feet, and that's all because of Teaspoon. So shout out Teaspoon, and she really had those girls playing their hearts out. Chicago Sky, they came out to play. It was a wire-to-wire victory. The New York Liberty, we truly struggled. The team struggled. It looked like it felt like a lid was on the basket for the first, I want to say 6 minutes. They didn't score their first field goal until about the 4-minute 35 marker about Breanna Stewart. She scored the first 2 field goals, and it was tough. It was a really tough outing for them because I think Sabb's first basket was a missed layup. Sloot had a couple of chippies that were right at the basket, missed. John Quell, right at the basket, missed. Benijah, right at the basket, missed. Stewie, right at the basket. Everyone missed. So it was just like the starters didn't come out with the energy that they needed to come out with. And I don't think they had that. They just did not have the right energy. And I felt bad for the rookies, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, it's up to the starters to make sure that even though they're not going to play the entire game, it's up to the starters to give them a great start. That's what you're starting the game for. And once those substitutions come in, you would think that they'll just be there to emphasize on the work that the starters did. There was no energy. There was no urgency. It looked awful. It really looked awful, to say the least. But again, it's a preseason game, so we're not going to put too much into it. I wasn't worried about the win. I wasn't worried about the loss, but I was just more so worried about how they look. And they looked absolutely abysmal. They looked tired. And I can't use the tired excuse of them doing too much stuff because, even though she's younger, Angel Reese was on a different type of 24 hours, what it was for her the day before. They obviously had Chicago Sky practice. She flew into New York for the Met Gala, was at the Met Gala, flew back to Chicago for the preseason game, and, she put in work. I think she had 13 points. She had some key steals. She just played with a lot of fire, and to me, it went over the line when I seen her starting to scream at Marquisha Davis, like, give me that, screaming at Breanna Stewart, tough takes on JJ and Stewie. So it was like, we got to play with some better pride and better urgency. I can't say I was super disappointed in our team, but I know that's not the identity of the New York Liberty. That's not something that they're going to, do on a consistent basis with coming out flat like that. I don't see that. I don't see this team to have that kind of energy. And speaking to Coach Brondello after the post-game interview.
Yeah, look, they have to look at themselves. We said you have to, but at the same time, we got to make sure we stay together. We got to weather the storm, and we didn't weather the storm. We can miss shots as we did today, but we have to rely on defense, and it was just too easy for them. And they know that. Their experience. I'm not telling them they're embarrassed by the effort that we put forth. It's not the way that we wanted to play. But Chicago, surprised us with how they played, I suppose, more than anything, with their aggressiveness. But they're athletes. Of course, they're going to be really aggressive. And I just didn't think we executed so well. We're obviously, training, we look good, but this is a little different when you're going against someone, not yourself or your men's team. And I know the veterans will respond in the right way because they always do. And they've been in these situations before. So while disappointing, now it's an opportunity to grow a lot in the next game.
It was just more so these ladies are prideful. The starters know that they just got hit on the chin, and they're prideful. They'll come out with a better sense of urgency next time, and I do think that they'll be better. One thing about this team is that they've always responded when hit with adversity. There wasn't too much adversity last year, but they've always responded. So we're looking to see how they respond to this one. Again, it's a preseason game. The Liberty and Sky are playing for two different things. The Sky are obviously trying to find what their identity is, what their rotation is, but the Liberty as well is trying to figure out their rotation. But we're ahead in the sense of we're trying to play for a championship and figure out what it is in the long haul. So playing for two different things, but Chicago, they just look a lot hungrier than the Liberty. It was just hands down. But there weren't that many bright spots in this, but I do like to try to keep things positive. and still look at the bright spots. Still, if I could find one or two, and I found one. I definitely found one, and I think we all found one. It was short-lived, but we found Jalen Sherrod. And if you guys tuned into the pregame live that we did on Instagram, we spoke about Jalen Sherrod and what she brings to the table, and how excited we are to see her. And when she came in that third quarter, we were down 30 already at that point, but what she did with her impact on pressuring Dana Evans, getting those 2 steals and forcing Chicago to call a timeout, that was something to be proud of, to be cheerful of, and to be excited, because it's like you want to see what they can do. Knowing how Dana Evans, Marina Mabry, they was definitely cooking our perimeter. Sabrina had no answers for Dana Evans whatsoever. So it was good to see that Sandy was able to make an adjustment and put in Jalen Sherrod, somebody who is feisty, gritty, quick, and the Liberty were at the middle of the pack when you talk about pace and fast break. She's a one-woman fast break. She can go coast to coast, and she's just super quick. She has tremendous speed and athleticism. So it's going to be a tough decision for this team to see what they're going to do in the end, because what I see from Jalen Sherrod is she's making a strong case for herself to make a roster spot on this team, just from the way that she's inquisitive, the way that she reaches out to her vets, speaks to her coach, and she's a sponge. She's a sponge. So I definitely want to see where that goes. With Marquisha Davis, she looked a little bit slow in the sense of, she wasn't making those quick decisions. She wasn't making those quick decisions and relying on what got her here. It's only one game, so we'll see how it all fares out and everything like that. But Marquisha knows this as well, that both of them, I asked them what they look to bring in their next game against Connecticut. And
I would just say pretty much the same intensity and pride on defense. And like we've been saying all night, when you're a rookie, it's just about maximizing your opportunities and going out there and playing your game. So not overthinking, not, trying to step outside of ourselves, but just do what we do well. And, it typically, if you be yourself, it typically works out for you. So.
Thank you. What about you, Marquisha?
What I look to bring going into the next game is being more aggressive on defense. And I would say on offense, just not overthinking and just doing what I do. And if that means going to screen or screen for somebody to get somebody else open or getting to the basket and things like that.
Playing to their strengths and things of that nature. So I'm looking forward to see exactly where that goes for the next preseason game, and that would be this Thursday at 7 p.m. Against Connecticut. 7 to 7:30 p.m. against Connecticut. We'll look forward to that. But again, it was abysmal. I didn't see too many bright spots coming out of that preseason game. It was tough. We did have a few people on the status report that were out. Kennedy Burke and Niara Sabali, they were both out with rest. Ivana Dojkic, she was not with the team with league-mandated medical evaluations. And Leonie Fibic was not with the team with travel. So I want to see if they'll be with the roster on Thursday. Will they get time? Will they get acclimated into this? But those names, I think, are some key names, because I think although, Niara and Kennedy Burke are not rookies, they have WNBA experience, but most importantly, they also have overseas experience. Kennedy Burke has played in the WNBA, but this time around, I think it's a lot different, coming off of her career season overseas with her French club, MVP and things of that nature. I think she'll do great as one of the supporting pieces coming off the bench. Ivana Dojkic, also not a rookie. Leonie Fibic, rookie, but is a very experienced player in Germany. So I think once we see these players get acclimated into this, I think we could better assess what's going on here. But my message to Liberty fans is, do not panic. Do not panic. It was one preseason game. I would exercise your short-term memory. Exercise short-term memory. Look straight into the pen. Look straight into that Men in Black pen, and just forget everything that happened. Forget everything that happened. It's all good. It's one preseason game. Again, I'll place blame 100% on our starters for starting out flat. They won't do that again. They know the deal. One thing that I do want to point out, Liberty assisted on 75% of their made shots last year. That was not going down yesterday. I felt like I saw a lot of one-on-ones, some ball stoppage. They seemed a little bit slow, so they got to pick up that pace a little bit and make sure they play to their strengths and share that basketball, which they did a great job last season. So they need to continue to push that up. And also rebounding the basketball. Got to make better plays on the defensive perimeter. Talk, switch if necessary, but most importantly, talk and have some pride on defense. That is something that we need. That's non-negotiable. We need to have pride on defense. So we'll see where it goes from there. But besides that, I do want to share with you the interview, some clips from the interview. I did ask Sandy Brondello, what is her message to the team? What is your message to the starters? And what were there any key takeaways from that tough loss? And here's what Sandy had to say. And then so as I said to y'all, this is just one preseason game. We have another one this Thursday against Connecticut, the new look Connecticut. Connecticut has made some great moves in the offseason. They also have Jocelyn Willoughby on their team, who was formerly a part of our New York Liberty organization. So we will see Jocelyn this Thursday. I'm headed to Connecticut. Any key takeaways? Let's see if I have any key takeaways besides they gotta do better. Looking at some of the other rookies, there weren't any like bright spots, to be honest with you, in general. Just looking at Esmeri Martinez, she knocked down a three. She had some decent defensive plays. She also had a few assists, but at the same time, just looked a little bit quiet, looked a little bit timid. I think Esmeri is going to have to do a little bit more, not a little bit more, but a lot more to show her true value of this team. I know it was tough with such a blowout yesterday, but they're going to have to play with their backs against the wall, play with that chip on their shoulder, and do everything that they can to essentially make a roster spot. So it's tough. Now let's break the game down a little bit. They got outscored in every single quarter. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. That's tough to watch. The leading scorer was Sabrina Ionescu with 8 points. Jonquel Jones and Kayla Thornton both had 5 rebounds. Jessica Carter, Sabrina, Jonquel, and Esmeri all had 2 assists. And it just wasn't enough. It wasn't merely enough for what the Sky did. Let's take a quick look at the stat sheet, because the plus minus was horrible. As a team, the New York was minus 48. There was not one person on the roster with a positive plus minus. It looked really bad. The starters, again, will have to do better. They will have to explain themselves, not with word, but with play this Thursday against the Connecticut Sun. We'll see how that goes. Man, looking around the W. Let's talk around the W. That's enough. That's all I got today in terms of the New York Liberty talk, because we still got a lot ways to go. It's a long season. This is only the beginning. But training camp, they're still in training camp. Training camp started on April 28th, and it will commence on May 13th. Obviously, the regular season starts on May 14th. I have no idea when cuts will be made. The Liberty have I think they're going in with about 18 people on their training camp roster. I see a lot of teams have already made cuts and then things of that nature. And the Liberty are, we're here with about 18 people on our roster. I think we're going into the season with 11 roster spots, which means 7 people, maybe 6 people will get cut. So it's going to be a tough decision in the end. It's really going to be a tough decision in the end. But that's what the coaches, that's what the front office is there for. They'll figure it all out essentially. And we will see what this team, what the makeup of this team will look like. I guess in next week, because the season pretty much starts next week. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. The game will not be televised on Thursday. I understand that there's no lottery picks or big names on the Connecticut side for them to want to televise this game. They pretty much got bullied into televising. The WNBA got bullied into putting the Liberty and Sky on the WNBA app. If you are aware of what happened the other day with the preseason game not being the team, nobody having access to the Chicago Sky and Minnesota preseason game, caused an uproar. Somebody went on Twitter, made it live. They ate pretty much because 2 million people viewed. I heard they put their Cash App up. Yeah, got me thinking if I should make my way to Connecticut and head over with my 2 iPhones and figure out this setup and get y'all all angles. And I'll send y'all my Cash App too. But TBD, I'll let y'all know what the word is on heading out to Connecticut. But all jokes aside, the WNBA, a lot of people are saying that the WNBA seems to be moving at a different pace with all of the attention that it's getting. Maybe the WNBA is not ready necessarily for everything that comes with the attention that's being surrounded with DW, because they need to move a little bit quicker and get these things situated as soon as possible. So I don't know what's going to transpire tomorrow, but I do know I will have pregame and postgame access for you for the Connecticut Sun game. Hopefully it's a way different outcome. And again, I'm not worried about wins or losses in the preseason. I'm worried about whether my team looks like they can compete, whether they look good. What are they doing out there? That's my concern with this team. So I just want to make sure they put their good foot forward. They're doing the right thing on the floor, and they're competing. Don't embarrass us again. Don't embarrass us again. So, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to how they respond against Connecticut, who is also a very formidable team. They are not the Chicago Sky, who are in a rebuilding process. They are a formidable team. So this will definitely be a true test, a true challenge. And we'll see where we go from there. We will see where we go from there. But besides that, fans, I want to hear your thoughts. Only the good ones, none of the negative ones. I know a lot of people were on the live last night. Some of y'all, understand that, it's preseason. They were a little bit flat and things of that nature. Others, y'all was ready to jump off a cliff, and I wasn't feeling that. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you a fan, you know how hard it is to win. But 1, it's preseason. 2, we don't have to overreact for every single last thing. These ladies know what they're doing. They know what they got to do, and they'll come back stronger and greater than ever. I'm super confident in that. Just keep the hope alive. It's always going to be Let's Go Liberty. Always going to be Let's Go Liberty. Let's talk about news around the WNBA. Some more news around the WNBA. What do we have? WNBA, I spoke to y'all about the charter. Congratulations. The new timeout format. Most recently, each team was allotted 4 full timeouts and 2 20-second timeouts. Beginning the 2024 season, the following timeout format will be in place. During regulation play, each team will now allocate 5 team timeouts plus 1 reset timeout. 20-second timeouts are now eliminated. Mandatory timeouts will be 2 minutes and 45 seconds in length, and non-mandatory timeouts will be 1 minute and 1:15 in length. The reset timeout is just stoppage in play requested by a team that allows it to advance the ball and makes substitutions, but they cannot huddle. Each team is entitled to one reset in the final 2 minutes of the fourth period. To request a reset, the head coach or player must call a timeout and then immediately signal the arms in a cross X to verbalize, "We going to reset." What y'all think about that, man? Y'all think like it's going to make the game a little bit longer? They also have the new challenging rules. You don't lose a timeout, which is the right thing. I agree with that. But what do y'all think of these new timeout rules? Does it speed the game up? Does it make the game go on longer? And while we at it on speaking of making the game longer, WNBA, when are y'all just going to give me my extra 2 minutes? Can we go to 12-minute quarters, please? Can we go to 12-minute quarters, and can we go to 15 roster spots? Please. Please. It would be highly appreciated. And can we bump that salary cap? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Y'all got the charter. WNBA, y'all got the charter. Congratulations. Now, all I'm asking is, can we make the rosters from 12 to 15? Can that happen? Can we bump up the salary cap? Can that happen? Can players start making commissions off of their jersey sales? Can that happen? That's what we want. That's what we want right there. Let it happen. Tell me your thoughts, what y'all thinking about it. And yes, we want 12-minute quarters. We're done with the 10-minute quarters. We want 12-minute quarters, WNBA. Y'all got 24 hours to respond. Not that y'all are listening to me, but I hope we could get some progress there. But, yeah, first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been tapping in and staying tuned with NYLFTV. This is a new season, a new era. We're doing things differently. Again, we have been blessed with the opportunity to get the inside access with the team to interview the players, ask questions and stuff like that. So definitely honored with the opportunity, but also want to reiterate that this is a fan page. This is all about the fans, and this is why it started. Questioning you guys, the interactions, the back and forth. We're going to continue that, and we're going to take it up to a next level this year. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited about that, and I'm looking forward to each and every encounter with the fans, the players, the organization. Just really looking forward to every single encounter that has come, with supporting women's basketball and supporting the New York Liberty basketball team. Oh, man. What else do I have? I don't have much because, like I said, I'm still hurt by what I watched yesterday, even though I'm about to go right after this episode. I'm about to go look into the pen, into the Men in Black pen, and we just gonna move on after that. But I think everything will be okay. All right, everything will be okay. I want to manage expectations for Liberty fans too. It's like, just because we made it to the finals last year don't necessarily mean we're gonna make it to the finals this year. It's tough. So we have to not look ahead. We have to take everything with a grain of salt and take each game by game. Every day is a reset. You start over, but game by game until we get to where we need to be, and that's a promised land, and ultimately achieve that goal. But New York, we out here. We waiting. We want to see a parade this year. We want to see something, but it's going to be tough. There's been so many changes. The league is changing. The talent is changing. There's a lot going on with the WNBA. I'm super excited to be a part of it, but there's a plethora of things that are happening with this sport right now. So it should be fun. We'll see. We'll see how things go. See how things transpire. As I'm recording this, I'm going online right now to make sure I am not missing out on any news, on anything that may have happened, because things just happen on the fly, man, all the time. Speaking of WNBA news, congratulations to Candace Parker. Obviously, we heard the news of Candace Parker retiring last week, and that really took us all by storm. But the news today also pops out that she's on the board of Adidas, is it? So I think that's really cool. And she, pretty much said she didn't want to be a mascot. she wants to be in the meeting. She wants to be in the room. So she was named president of Adidas Women's Basketball. Congratulations to Candace Parker. Also, congratulations to Teresa Weatherspoon. I want to congratulate Teaspoon because even though we took a L, just knowing all of the work that she's put in her career, in her basketball career as a player, and then coming off as a coach, what she went through in New Orleans with the Pelicans, she did an amazing job. Ultimately was let go, but coming into the WNBA, getting a head coaching opportunity, with a franchise that's rebuilding, that's super dope for her. So congratulations to you, Teaspoon. We are rooting for you, but not too much because obviously you're not wearing the Liberty no more. So we definitely appreciate everything that you've done for this organization and what you've done for the WNBA. Is so cool. So congratulations, Teaspoon, and shout out Crystal Robinson, who's also an assistant coach with the Chicago Sky. Shout them out, real talk. Let's see. Let me see if I got anything else for y'all. This one's a quick episode. This one is a quick episode. I don't have any more commentary for you guys, but again, we do have a game tomorrow at you know what? Let me stop making up saying at and this, that, and the third, and I don't know the real time. Yes, tomorrow at 7. No, I don't know the time tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thursday, May 9th. We are at the Connecticut Sun, 7 p.m. This game will not be televised. And just to talk about the regular season does kick off on Tuesday, May 14th. It sucks because we started the 2 preseason games away, and we have our first 2 regular season games are away. First one against Washington, and then the next one against Indiana. But hopefully everything with the Charters are, in the works and in the air so that they can get this, so they can get to these destinations easily, because it's not going to be an easy start to the season, just starting on the road completely. So we'll see how they work through that and how they navigate through everything. But once again, this is New York Liberty Fan TV. It's your boy Rem, a.k.a. Mr. Ken, NY Sports. Thank you for tapping in. You could follow us on IG at NYLFTV. And I am also on IG at ken.nysports. Visit us at www.nylftv.com for the latest. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. It's your boy Rem. We are talking Liberty, WNBA basketball. Y'all have a great one. Peace.